Well, we're in 2023, and this is a very special year for Disney. Why? This is the year where Disney is celebrating its 100th anniversary, making it the fourth studio to reach its 100th anniversary after studios like Universal, Paramount, and Warner Brothers recently. So, with Disney nearing its 100th anniversary celebration, you would think that things would be going good for Disney at this time. Well, so far, not really. Why? Well, let's take a look at Disney's recent movie, Elemental. Now, for those who don't know, Elemental is an animated movie released by Pixar. You know, this is among the first Pixar films to be released in theaters after quite a while. The movie involves in a world inhabited by anthropomorphic elements of nature. It follows a fire element named Amber Lewis, and a water element called Wayrippy Alfie, who meet and fall in love after Way is summoned by a plumbing accident at a convenience store owned by Amber's father, Bernie Del Camere. Now, I have not seen Elemental yet. Yeah, mostly because, with stuff going on at home, it's kind of hard to me to go to theaters and watch. However, I've heard a lot of positive. I heard some people say this movie is good, and like I said, I have not seen the movie. But the reason why I broke up Elemental is because while its reception is so far looks to be good, its box office results are, how to put this, ouch. So if you look at Elemental's Wikipedia page, you'll see that its budget is $200 million, and so far, as of June 28th, it's only grossed around $124.3 million at the box office. It started the box office reception was a bit lower, like somewhere around 70 maybe. And a lot of people saying that, and people already are starting to label Elemental as a box office bomb. And while it started to turn around, and while the box office performance has been getting a bit better, it's still labeled as a box office bomb because that's below its budget. And yeah, Elemental is so far it's probably joining the line of other movies that are struggling to pass budget. What's more shocking is that this is among Pixar's first theatrically animated films, ever since, I don't know, like Onwards and stuff like that, or like Lightyear, and yet again, those movies also bombed at the box office. So, what does this mean for Pixar? Because Pixar, for the most part, is having a hard time reaching that success that that most of its films originally had. Well, I've heard that many people saying that Disney's having a hard time keeping up with the success of other animated films, since most of its recent films like Strange World are bombing in the box office. So why is Disney having a hard time reaching the success that most of its original films had? And how come other studios like Universal and Sony are making more money than Disney? Well, it's pretty much for the obvious reasons. So let's get some points out of the way. Now, Elemental is an original film, one of Pixar's original films, and since we're at a time where sequels and reboots are making the most money for the studios, it makes sense that Elemental is falling behind on the herd, since this is just an original film. And just saying 2 flopped at the box office I don't know how, but that was a sequel to Shazam. But the difference between this and Elemental is how Shazam 2 is a sequel, while Elemental is a completely original film. So, granted, I still don't know how Shazam 2 flopped, but we're not talking about Shazam 2 here. We're talking about Elemental. But it's also kind of, but you know what kind of hurts? It hurts that the original ideas are literally getting less attention, while the sequels and reboots of other films are like literally getting everyone hyped up. I mean, it's good to have sequels and reboots, but we should also look at people with, or we should probably look at the movies coming from the creative minds of other people. And I just feel bad for the people. I just feel bad for these movies for for getting little to no attention from the audience. And like I said, well, let's take a look. Well, I think a reason why Elemental's getting literally not getting any is, well, I mean, Elemental's getting attention for sure, but the reason why its box office results are suffering is because of its release date. Now, its release date was released on June 16th, 2023. The same day the Flash came out. Yeah, that is really gonna hurt Elemental's box office records. Now you could say that when it came to other movies, like, oh, Puss in Boots came released in the same day Avatar with Water, and yet Puss in Boots was managed to be as successful at the box office. And that would be true, but like I said, Puss in Boots, the Last Wish is a sequel to Puss in Boots, and Elemental is a completely original film. So you can see the differences between Puss in Boots and Elemental. Although I can see that DreamWorks is doing really well with its films. And I heard people saying that DreamWorks is becoming the new Disney. But here's the thing. Studios need to be careful when about the release dates of their movies. If an original movie is going to be released in the same day of an iconic a movie based on iconic stuff, then it's pretty much likely it's going to underperform the box office. I'm not saying it that usually happens. I'm saying that's a big risk. And like I said, I just feel bad for what's going on with Elemento. And it just sucks that most of, and like I said, it's just sad that most of the original ideas coming from people are having trouble reaching the success of other films. Another reason why a lot of people are saying that Elemental was a box office flop either is because of the budget or the competition. Now, like I said, Elemental's budget was around $200 million. That is kind of a risky move. Now, I get the reason why the budget's kind of high is because studios have to pay for stuff. So kind of a reason why the animation budget's high. But this is also a risky move when this is an original idea, and the fact that its budget is that high. That could be that's actually a reason why films like Strange World bombed, is because its budget was way too high and it was released during a November weekend. During Thanksgiving. Which is another reason why other films like Devotion bombed. It's like I said, studios need to be careful on how they're gonna budget their films, because if you're gonna move in the budget very high, then of course it's gonna bomb in the box office. Obvious, because now there's some people who are definitely gonna come, but percentage might drop, and I'm assuming that's what happened with Elemental. Don't get me wrong, the studio can give it its budget whatever it wants, but it needs to be careful on what budget it's given it. Also, now let's talk about the competition. Like I said, Elemental was released in the same day The Flash came out. But we also got other films like Transformers Rise of the Beast from Paramount, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse from Columbia, and the Little Mermaid remake from, again, Disney. We are in a time where sequels and reboots are dominating the box office. Yes, and I'm pretty sure that Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and The Little Mermaid are among the highest grossed films in 2023 so far. But like I said, I'm not. But it's kind of but to be completely honest, that's because Elemental was released in the same day where those movies came out, in the month and the decade when it came out. And again, I know it's a movie meant for to be released during the summer, but again, be careful. But it's best to just be careful how you're gonna release the movies. It's best not. To, it's just best not to. It's best not to release a movie when other highly anticipated films are like coming out. Not. Because more people are gonna give more attention to that than stuff like Elemental. I'm not blaming the people for the. I'm like I said, no. I am not blaming the people who were responsible for the release dates. I'm just saying you need to like think a little more about when you're gonna release the movie. Release the movie, because then again, there's a good chance that movie's gonna flop. Is because I mean, oh, we could see Elemental, but we could also see Transformers vs. the Bees, or The Little Mermaid, or Spider-Man, or FX, or Fast X, because those are movies that have a high percent chance of dominating the box office. Now let's probably get to probably the most obvious reason. That's because, well, probably among the biggest reason why Elemental is having trouble passing its budget is because, I mean, people are just now used to Pixar releasing stuff on Disney Plus. So not many of them are heading to theaters every time Pixar released an animated movie. That's because, I mean, Pixar started releasing animated movies during this whole pandemic crud. And like you got Turning Red, right, that was released on Disney Plus. And that's gonna like a cult, and that's gonna like a following. Even so, yeah, Pixar's films were popular even if they weren't in theaters. I mean, look at Lightyear. Look at Lightyear. That's not a Pixar film that bombed in the box office. And like I said, this is the first. The Elemental in Lightyear were Pixar's first box office bombs. I mean, Good Dinosaur I mean, the Good Dinosaur back in 2015 had trouble passing it. Had trouble with its box office results. But then again, we just live in a time where people are just used to Pixar releasing films on Disney Plus. That's because there's a good chance that most of the movies are just getting released. So yeah, there's a good chance that most people are just gonna watch Disney movies in Disney Plus, since Disney is just milking its streaming service, I'm assuming. Well, what I'm saying is that. What I'm saying is just that. Well, what I'm saying is just that Disney just needs to like make sure that Disney like needs to do a lot to make sure people are heading to theaters for Pixar animated films, because from the looks of it, we're probably headed to Pixar's dark age when it comes to its box office history. So in conclusion, Disney is gonna have to try very hard to get a lot of people to watch their theatrical films, because in the looks of it, Disney is just not doing well, and probably and to consider that this is their 100th anniversary is also pretty depressing as well. Well, hopefully Disney finds a way around this, but the fact that the company just lost over $900 million, I'm not really sure how they're gonna make it turn around. Hopefully they can, but we'll just have to wait. So anyways, guys, what do you think of all this? Have you seen Elemental? What do you think of it? And so let me know in the comments below. Anyways, guys, that's it for this video. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Adios.